Hi, everyone. You're listening to Radio Cherry Bombe, and I'm your host, Kerry Diamond, coming to you from Newsstand Studios at Rockefeller Center in the heart of New York City. Today's guest is India Doris, chef and co-owner of Markette restaurant in Manhattan. India, who hails from London, is a big rising star, not to mention one of the coolest folks in food today. She's been working in kitchens since she was 15 years old and has had quite the journey. From peeling apples and picking frisée at her first job in London, to pursuing her fine dining dreams around Europe, to landing here in New York where she worked for the late beloved chef James Kent, to finally opening a place she could call her own. We talk ambition, teamwork, being the only woman in the kitchen back in the day, and staying humble. As she likes to say, keep your head down and your knives sharp. Stay tuned for my chat with India Doris of Markette Restaurant. There's a lot going on at Cherry Bombe HQ this week. We're working on the next issue, which will be out in mid-February. The theme is Mom's the Bomb, and we'll be releasing the covers in a week or so. Yes, plural. You know we love multiple covers here at Cherry Bombe. Lots of great folks wrote essays for us, and as always, we have recipes from the hottest new cookbooks. What else? We're in the midst of planning a fun Valentine's weekend at Shopify in Soho. We'll be sharing details about that very soon. And then, of course, we're working on Jubilee, our big annual conference that's taking place at the Glass House in Manhattan on April 25th. It's a beautiful day of connection, community, and great food and drink, and we would love to see you there. Tickets are on sale right now at cherrybombe.com. Now, let's check in with today's guest. India Doris, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
What a thrill. We are new friends. We met for the first time in December. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of buzz about you, so I was happy that we got to do that fun event with Open Table.
It was great. First lunch.
Oh, right. It was the first lunch you ever did at Markette, and it was great.
It was great.
We all got to try the famous peri peri chicken.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have so many questions for you. I'm trying to think, where do we even begin? I loved listening to the interviews with you because you talked a little bit about being a London kid.
Yeah.
And I mythologized London so much when I was in high school. I loved the music, the writers, the movies coming out of the UK at the time, like all these cool indie movies. And you were talking about running around being a bit of a troublemaker as a teenager. What were those teenage years like in London?
Yeah, I was a good kid, but not a great teenager. As a young kid, I was really, really sweet and nice. And then when I got a bit older and it all changed, really. You get a little bit of freedom and then you get a little bit crazy. Yeah, I mean, I guess, you know, I grew up in West London in a place called Shepherd's Bush. You know, high traffic. It's like there's either a lot to do or not a lot to do at all. As an adult, I think there was quite a fair bit to do. As a kid, there's not that much going on. You know, we didn't have like tons of money or anything. Me and my mum, we laugh about now, but we grew up in government housing. We didn't have the best schools in the area, you know, but for me, I enjoyed where I lived. It didn't feel terrible by any means when I was living it.
And you seemed like you were super into music.
I love music. I love music. I love food. Yeah, music's a huge part of me growing up. I like a lot of different music. I'd definitely say like house music is my favorite dance music. You know, I grew up with parents that listen to dance music and, you know, very much into the house, funky house dance scene when they were young.
And you play house music at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah. That might scare some people. Right. How do you balance your love of house music with what is appropriate restaurant dining music?
The walls aren't shaking, you know? Definitely not. I'm not about that. It's more...
But if you could have the walls shaking, would you?
If it was just me in the restaurant, yes, but it's not. So I leave that to the kitchen. We do that in the kitchen every now and then. For the dining room, it's more about, you know, like calmer melodies and stuff like that, not insane thudding. It's more funky house, something to make you feel good, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to keep it light.
I take the music that's played at restaurants pretty seriously.
That's great.
When I had restaurants, I was so bossy about the playlists. The team had to start the playlist at exactly 6 o'clock. And if it wasn't exactly 6 o'clock, the music was off for the night. Yeah. And God forbid somebody put on shuffle. That was like a knife to my heart.
It's curated for a reason, you know?
Exactly. Back to you being a teenager in London. You finish high school. You guys finish high school earlier than we do here. Yeah. And you go and you knock on the door, the alley door of a restaurant to get a job.
Yeah.
Take me back to that. Why did you want to work in food? And what made you think you could just knock on a door and get a job?
That's a long story. I mean, you know,
We got all the time in the world, India.
Getting into food. Okay, so obviously, you know, I mentioned before, I grew up not having a lot of stuff, and we weren't, unhappy by any means, but we just didn't have a lot of stuff. So dinners consisted of tinned corned beef and rice and some spaghetti hoops. And
we never went out to eat when I was a kid.
Exactly.
I had 4 siblings.
Exactly.
And I don't know, I could count on one hand how many times we went out to eat.
Exactly the same as me.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up eating beans with powdered mashed potatoes.
My mother loved powdered milk.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
Exactly. If I was lucky, I had fresh milk. If not, I used water, which is terrible.
Yeah. No, we did have fresh milk, but a lot of canned food, a lot of frozen food.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and then, not far away, my gran would cook, and she's an immigrant from Jamaica. She moved over back in the Windrush area in the UK. She would cook really nice food. She would make oxtail, which back then was, she reminds all the time that back then oxtail didn't cost as much as it does cost now. She would make oxtail and stewed chicken and, ackee and saltfish.
Which stewed chicken?
Stewed chicken, it's a Jamaican dish, so how it sounds, we put a lot of spices and marinate it, and then we stew it, and it's like potatoes.
Oh, stewed chicken.
Stewed chicken, yeah. Sorry, my accent. Stew.
You have the best accent. I heard stewed chicken. I was like, I never heard of stewed chicken. Okay, we just have to talk about your accent for a second. You have the coolest accent.
Oh, thanks.
Do you get away with murder because of your accent?
In America, it seems, or it was working well for me, but yeah, in the UK, I'm a bit common for...
But a British accent in America?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many varieties of British accent.
Just wrap people around your finger.
Yeah, I mean, again, back home, very common accent the way I speak, but yeah, here it works.
Do you use it for nefarious purposes here in New York?
Yeah, and I can change it. When I'm talking about work, I try to keep it nice. And, even now I'm trying to keep it nice and civilized. But yeah, it can come through. Give me a beer and it'll slowly start getting back to where it was.
I love it. Okay, stewed chicken. Got it.
Stewed chicken, yeah. So she would cook stuff like that. Ackee and saltfish on the weekends and a Saturday. That was a Viv and Mary. I would get sick of eating canned corned beef and go over to Gran's on the weekend and sit and watch her cook and eat the food there, which was nice because, I'd take a break from eating canned food. That's basically how, my family always reminds my mum and everyone about those moments. And I think that's what kind of got me into food, is pretty much getting sick of eating the same thing over and over again.
What was your gran like personality-wise? Was she warm? Was she tough?
She's the queen, man. She's the queen of the family. She's the boss. She's old now. She's not so well, but she is the boss of the family. And for me, looking at her cooking, she didn't let anyone in the kitchen. Do not go in there. She's in her own little world. Do not attempt to do anything. You couldn't touch the pots. She would make the food for you. You can have as much food as you want. She'll just put it on the plate for you. So that was pretty much what it was like. And she's just a great human, full of energy, loud, Jamaican.
You weren't in there picking up tips. I'm amazed at some of those stories where it's like, I was right by my grandmother's side and I learned everything. And I'm like,
oh no, she wouldn't let me in. She wouldn't let me in. And she would be like, why is this little girl just trying to get in here? So then eventually on the weekends, I would just go and stand, and even after school, I'd go and stand outside of the kitchen by the door frame, and I would just sit there. And I think what happened was months of doing that, she just got a bit annoyed and would just be like, fine, come in here. And then eventually we bonded from that, and it just became a thing.
That's so cool. All right, so fast forward, you're 15, 16, you're standing in that alley, and you knock on that door. What made you think that's how you got a job?
So, again, we finished school early in the UK. But
when's your birthday? You said your birthday
July.
was... Oh, it's July. Okay.
So we finished school in April, and I wasn't even 16 yet. I was 15.
Because I heard an interview, you said your birthday wasn't syncing with everybody else's, and I thought maybe you were a January baby. What's your sign?
Leo.
Okay. You're a Leo.
Why does everyone do that?
Well, no, I mean, you're a star, I'm not surprised.
I think they're sick of us, really. Everyone's sick of us. Yeah, I finished school very early because my birthday is a little later than everyone. It just meets that year. I finished school, needed something to do. I was already kind of working part-time, making sandwiches and stuff in this tourist attraction. I was like, all right, this is what I want to do. I need to start taking it serious now. I didn't have an option to go to college or these culinary schools. It just wasn't something that, unfortunately, I couldn't do. But you can't let that stop you. You just got to crack on, really. So I went in to many kitchens or many alleyways of kitchens and was like, can you hire me? Can you hire me? I eventually found something. I'm like, listen, you don't have to pay me a lot. I just need to start somewhere. And then you can pay me later on if you think that it's a good fit. So I got in They put me on pastry because there was another young kid that started around the same time as me. He was 18 and I was 15. And he got put on the savory side, and I guess they just assumed that I wanted to do pastry, so they put me in.
Put the girl in the pastry department.
Yeah, and I was like, well, I don't want to do pastry. I want to do what he's doing. But, you know, at the time, you can't really complain. You just crack on with it. And to be honest, I'm glad that I did it because I learned so much about cooking from pastry. It's an incredible skill to have. So What
were you making?
First thing I made was a tarte tatin. Well, the first thing I did was picking frisée and peeling apples. That was my 2 jobs. And it would take me all day because I was really bad at it. After the peeling, you know, like at least 8 crates of apples a day, I got into making the tarte tatins. The pastry chef would start showing me stuff and he saw how keen I was and stuff like that. And then it got into drawing, you know, back in the day, no one had these phones with like all the cameras and stuff. So, and I definitely did not have anything close to that because I couldn't afford it. So I would get my little notebook and draw sketches of the station set up. So like the apples go here, the pastry goes here, the sauce goes here, and it was all sketched out. So then one day, I can't remember, I think someone was sick or they didn't come in for some reason. And I was just like, I'll do it. And then I just like set up the whole station and they were like, oh.
So you would be drawing the mise en place for each station?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Not a great drawer, terrible drawer.
Do you still have those drawings?
I think in my mom's house. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You're in there drawing the mise en place. They put you in the other station. Take me back to the London food scene at the time, because you're young. It wasn't the time of Marco Pierre White throwing plates at people's heads and screaming at customers, right?
No, but I worked for all of his people. So definitely
he has a lot of
down.
alums. Yeah, Curtis, who I think is one of the nicer guys who worked for him. Gordon, you know, who's now like a girl dad and I think kind of calmed down a tiny bit. Yeah. I want to get him on the show. Gordon, if you're listening, I keep trying and your people keep saying no. What the heck?
Yeah, get him on the show. He's great. I used to watch all of his shows when I was a kid. It's definitely inspiration.
There have also been a lot of people who've come on the show over the years who grew up watching, like Jamie Oliver, and that's what got them into the kitchen.
Yeah, we had Jamie Oliver in the restaurant 2 days ago. It was great. I grew up watching his shows. My mom has his cookbooks. You know, it was like great to have him in. It was definitely very cool. And we had a conversation and, you know, was talking about how, you know, just restaurants work and figuring out your first restaurant and all that jazz. And it was really, really encouraging to have him there. And, you know, he was talking about my story of me coming out here, how I got out here and how difficult it is. So, yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed having him. It was great to chat.
Oh, that's awesome. He's a decent guy.
Very, very nice person, yeah.
Okay, so you worked for some of Marco's alums. Mm-hmm. Was it still very bro-y when you were...
I didn't work for a woman until about 13 years maybe into my career, maybe a little bit later. I can't give you an exact time, but it was definitely in the teens. I didn't work with another woman, just generally, like as a cook, chef de partie, like side-by-side situation. I didn't work with another woman until I was probably about 8 years into my career, maybe 7. And we're still friends now. She just opened a restaurant in London. So we're going through the same stuff together and we just like talk to each other and get ourselves through it. So we've drawn a connection from that, you know?
That's amazing. What's her restaurant?
It's called Salisbury. It's in London. Okay. It's a great spot. She's an incredible cook. You know, she's been cooking for a really, really long time.
What's her name?
Taryn Bingle.
Taryn Bingle, Salisbury.
She's
London listeners, get your butts there.
Yeah, please, man. The
her.
Restaurant's great. She's an incredible cook. She's been cooking for a really long time, originally from New Zealand. We still talk and we still help each other kind of
That's awesome.
figure things out.
But it's so crazy because you are still so young. Cherry Bomb's going to be 13 years old this year. And it's so interesting because when we started, there were all these women who were like, I literally couldn't get a job in a kitchen. Yeah. And it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, people don't want to hire us. I think it's two sides to the coin. It's like, there are some people that really want to work with women, and then there's some that are just like absolutely not. They think that maybe we're not strong enough, we can't carry all this stuff, you know. I think it's ridiculous. You need to have balance in the kitchen. There's food all over the world, yeah. There's so many different cultures. You need to have different people from different cultures. The same with women as well. You should have women and men in the kitchen because people see things differently. Unless you're serving food to just men, then sure, only hire men, but you're also serving food to women. So, like, you need to have women's opinions. It's insane. want the money, but don't want
Exactly.
don't want them working with them.
Oh my gosh. All right. So you're a kid, you start out, you work your way up, you eventually make your way to France, and you're working in a chateau.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
Yeah, it was random. I'm not going to lie to you. So I finished working at a job. I moved back in with my mom. I lived on my own very young. I moved in on my own when I was 16. And then eventually, at some point, about that time, I was about 18 or 19. I, moved back with my mom just for a few months while I figured out what I was trying to do next. And I ended up waking up one morning. I went for a run. I was like, let me go for a run, which was very weird for me at that time. I only maybe done it a few times before that. I was like, let me go for a run. When I got back for the run, it was about 6 o'clock in the morning. My mom woke up. I was like, listen, I'm moving to France tomorrow. And she was like, yeah, sure, whatever. You say a lot of stuff, whatever. The next morning, I woke up again, went for a run, got home at 6, packed my bags and put it at the front door. And she came up to me and was like, where are you going? And I was like, I told you, I'm going to France. And I booked a ferry because that's all I could afford. I couldn't afford a flight. Booked a bus to the ferry and took I think it's like 5-6 hour ferry over to Cannes. And yeah, didn't come back for a few years.
Wow. You just knew you'd find a job?
Just figure it out, And I was looking for a job while I was on my way to the ferry. And I had something lined up, but I wasn't sure about it. So I was like looking for other situations that I could figure out. And yeah.
And how was your French?
It was all right at the time. Not great now. I haven't practiced it enough. Not great. Let's just be honest here. It wasn't that great.
What was the appeal of France? Or France? I love how you guys say France over in the UK.
Yes. Okay, so it's a weird one, right? Because at that time, that was a while ago now. That was, 16 years ago. And at the time, French food was the fine dining food, right? It was the food that you do if you're taking it seriously, and if that's your career path, you need to go through that. All the big chefs were doing that. And, at the time, I was fully in. So I was like, I want to be a big chef. What did the big chefs do? And that was the direction that I needed to go in order for people to take me seriously as a chef. I went out there. And that was kind of the reason why I went out there, was because I wanted to be a great chef. And that's what, was presented.
How were the kitchens in France different from the ones in London?
Yeah, in France, it was different. It was slightly different. There was a lot of similarities. I think for me, there was a lot of people from all over the world that was there, and the majority of them spoke English, so that was helpful. But like the head chef, the sous chefs, they were all speaking French. They weren't very happy that I was there, let's just say that. But, it was very similar but very different. And I would say, obviously, the language barrier, and just we were in the middle of nowhere. It wasn't like we were in a big city, so we would farm everything ourselves, grow all of these vegetables and stuff like that, which was really cool. And I'm a city kid, so going out into the middle of nowhere was quite scary for me. I was actually quite scared because I'm used to having so many people around. I didn't have to walk through the forestry area.
I can't stand the country. I'm sorry, people who live in the country, but like quiet and total darkness terrifies me.
I watch a lot of true crime, so it really scares me. I'm like freaking out.
See, I can't watch that stuff because I don't know, that shit happens. I don't want that in my head. But I live near an elevated subway station and near the BQE, and I have no curtains. So it's like, bring on the light and the noise. To me, that's comforting.
Oh, it's so comforting. Yeah. A good siren in the morning. Love it.
But yeah, like the countryside's terrifying.
So scary.
Mm-hmm. All those cows, all the,
Man, so many cows. They're just like hanging out.
Skills-wise, did you feel like you learned a lot?
Yeah, I think I learned a lot. I feel like I learned to deal with people because I was in a new country, and we had this like young little kid from London here, and you have to learn how to work with people that maybe judge you straight away. Yeah, I would say that. The French kitchen's a little different. It's like every 20 minutes we're drinking coffee and there's chain smoking cigarettes out the back. So
a little more laid back?
Yes, I would say so. Maybe Paris isn't the same, but where I specifically was, it was a little more relaxed because it was in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I came in hothead because, I spent, a couple years working in a high-intensity kitchen at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Must have been difficult to take it down a notch. Talk to me about your ambition. It sounds like from an early age you were fairly ambitious.
Yes. I don't know where it comes from, but I just have always been like that. I don't know. I guess I'm a very competitive person. I used to be really into sports. I mean, I'm still into it, but when I was a kid at school, I would always be the first person to be put up for sports stuff, while everyone else was like, wanted to mess around in the back. Football, or European football, soccer.
Sorry.
Doesn't make
AKA
sense.
soccer.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the football with the foot is what we're talking about here. Yeah, I'd play a little bit of that because my cousins, they're like my brothers. They like lived close by. We all grew up together and they would teach me that. And then one thing I was really big on is running. So sprint, track, those were my long distance. Not so much, not a fan. But yeah, short distance, yeah, I was very fast.
I like to relay race.
Yeah. That I love relay as well. Yeah, so that, and I wanted to win all the time. I just wanted to win and I didn't like coming second. So it was like, for me, it was just in me. I don't know how it came about, but it's just there. So it kind of translates a little bit.
I was a great athlete, but I did not have bloodlust. I wasn't super competitive. So natural athletic ability and height got me a long way. Yeah. But then I just didn't want to go for the jugular.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to in sports.
That's it. I've definitely calmed down a lot now. You have to. But yeah, when I was young, again, it translated into the kitchen because I was the only woman around. So I'm like, I'm not going to let these guys tell me anything. They always be like, do you need help with that? I'm like, I don't need help. I'm good. And I would hurt my back just trying to carry something. Like, I'm fine, thanks. I think that's kind of what helped a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
all right. You wind up in New York. Lucky us. I know there's stuff in between, but we're just going to jump to the New York chapter. We're going to have to make this a 2-part series. You're so damn interesting. India, we've still got so much to talk about. Why New York? What drew you here?
We'll go back to that competitive side of me. I mean, it's a crazy place. I see it on the TV and how competitive it is. And I worked with someone that came back from working at 11 Benson Park, and he was just like, yeah, it's a pretty cool place. At that point, I'd been working for the specific chef that I was working for 4 years. And he was like, maybe you should do something new. And I was like, that sounds interesting and insane. I'm down.
Had you been to New York?
I've been to New York once before. Yeah. So I have some family who moved over here from Jamaica. So I've had the opportunity to come over and see them. Yeah.
And what do you think about New York? It's the coolest place in the world, right?
It's insane and I love it.
Me too. New York really gets in your blood. I mean, I was born here, but New York really gets in your blood.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, I can definitely relate to it, on a personal level.
Yeah. Yeah. You wind up working for James Kent, a beloved chef, passed away last year. I'm so sorry. I know he was a major person in your life and a mentor to so many people. How did you wind up working for James?
I ended up working at the Nomad because I heard about it through an old colleague. And he was like, intro or whatever. And then I reached out to them and was like, listen, I'd love to come out there. I have no idea how this works, but I'm a keen, young chef. And I need a little bit of help and guidance on how to get this process done. But I can tell you once I'm out there, I'll do my best. Once I'm out there, I'll do my best. And, they reached back out. Surprisingly, he reached back out in 20 minutes. I was like, that's great. I didn't expect that. I thought I had a little bit more time to prepare, but I guess we're going with it. And he was like,
do you think you just dazzled them or were they desperate for help?
I literally just pulled it out in that email and was like, I don't know this process, but please, I'll work my hardest. You won't regret it. And then,
it worked. Great.
And then I had to keep my side of the bargain. I ended up working for him for 8 years.
Wow. So you followed him when he opened his own restaurants?
Yes. Crown Shy, Saga, Overstory. I worked with him there.
Down in the financial district.
Yeah, It was great. I've opened up quite a few restaurants in the past, and I was like, man, I'm not going to do it again unless it's my own. And obviously with James, I just had to. He's just such a great person to work with and a great mentor. So yeah, I jumped on it. I went back home after a year of the Nomad, and then he was opening up Crown Shy. So I was like, yeah, I'm coming back to do that.
What was James like as a boss, as a leader?
Great guy, very calm. So it was crazy for me because I went from going from the intensity of the European kitchens and then working with James. And, he actually had a conversation with me as well one time when I first was in a management position in his restaurants. He was like, don't bring any of that stuff here, because he understands how insane the kitchens can be and some of the past kitchens I worked in. And he was like, you can't bring that here. You need to focus on just trying to better yourself every day, and being a better manager really helps you with that. So like I worked in kitchens where I'm screaming all the time, and it was insane. It was just like rough hours, 18 hours a day, 6 days a week. And then I came here, I came and worked with him a little bit less hours, and people actually treated you with respect because of him, because the way that he mentored people. So I learned how to do that, and I think it was a very valuable tool, to use now. It's like there needs to be balance. You can't just,
Were you still working for him when he passed away? Or had you started the process of opening Markette?
Yeah, so what happened is I was in the process of opening Markette, and I actually got married that year that he passed, and we were all in Greece together for the wedding. And then 2 days after he came back, that's when he passed.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm glad I got to have that time with him in Greece. It was great, But yeah, 2 days after he passed, and I was already in the process of working on Markette. Mm-hmm. So, I kind of kept it tight for a little bit and stayed for a few months to see it out. And then, I eventually...
Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry.
Make moves.
Was it hard to resign?
It was hard.
When you have a good boss, it's sometimes hard to...
Yeah, it was hard. Yeah, I mean, it was hard. There was a lot of changes happening and stuff like that. So it was definitely hard because I had a lot of memories there, and it was just like the mixed emotions, But yeah, it was definitely hard. But obviously I was opening up this new project and I was excited about that. But then I had all this other stuff as well. So it was definitely mixed,
Did he give you advice on opening your own place?
Oh, okay. This is sad because I actually wanted to tell him that I was doing it. I was originally going to do it before we went to Greece. And then I was like, okay, I shouldn't do it because we're all going away and I don't want him to like have to stress out about it. So like, let's just like enjoy the vacation. And then when we all get back from Greece, I'll tell him. So I planned to, and then it happened. And so.
Okay. So you
Fortunately, we did not. But I have a feeling he knew because he kept saying some little cheeky things to me. But I just never had the opportunity to really put it down,
Yeah. But I guess overall, you got to learn a lot from him about leadership and how to run a tight ship.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you open your own place, Markette.
Mm-hmm.
What made you think you were ready for your own place?
After about, coming up to 20 years this summer, it's time. I had the itch. All I wanted to do was cook my food. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I just had all these ideas I wanted to do. It's different working for someone else. You're working on the food that's expressed by them, so you kind of fit into that guideline. It's a great opportunity to have because cooking other people's food makes you realize what your food is. And I think I learned that while I was working with James. When you know. I was just like, I know what I want to do now. And I just wanted to do it. I wanted to get out there. I wanted to just make sure I'm expressing myself through food, and it needed to come out of me. Again, I had the itch.
For other chefs who are listening to this, how did you even start the process? Because it's so, I mean, I had restaurants here. It's so expensive in New York. It's hard to find money. Yeah. It's hard to find the partners. Mm-hmm. It's hard to find the real estate. Walk us through that process a little bit.
It's scary. I had the same thought as well. I'm like, man, I know how to cook. I know how to run a kitchen. I know how the operations of things go. I know how to run a restaurant. Like, you've locked it down. You understand you're at that point in your career. You just understand how the operations of something works and the flow of something. But the business money side of it is something that's kind of hidden a little bit and people don't really share. I think it took a lot. I have a business partner, Alex, and it took a lot for us to just kind of figure out how we wanted to go about it and like raising money and stuff like that. I think for me, it's great to have a partner because I don't want to I want to have someone I could share stuff with and like come up with solutions with. So, if it's your first time, for me, I think it's a great idea to have a partner because you're channeling two people's connections and two people's ideas and bringing it into one. So, we use the connections we've had from wooing people in the dining room and hospitality people and having open, honest conversations with those people, like big leaders in the hospitality industry, and don't be afraid to text them and ask them questions and just doing that. And then, somehow they can help put you in the right circles and with the right people. But again, just being social, talking to people. Do not be afraid to ask people questions and text that person that you met randomly at a party that has a lot of information that you might need to.
How did you and Alex find each other?
He was at 11 Medicine Park. I was at the Nomad, and he moved over from EMP to the Nomad, and I was cooking in the kitchen. He was the GM. He was the GM, and we connected, we got along, and we stayed in contact, and we, were talking about opening a restaurant together, but we were in our own little paths at the time. And then eventually, we started looking at spaces and getting like reps in and practice, and we weren't going to actually sign a lease for these places. We just wanted to go and like see and like chat to people, just get some practice in. And then eventually we're like, man, what are we doing? Let's just go. So we just cracked on and we signed something, and we were like, all right, it's a brand new space. So we had a year and a half to figure it out.
Yeah, but that time goes fast.
It went so quickly.
You had a year and a half build out time?
Yeah, because
that's extraordinary.
It was a brand new building.
Are the owners of the building partners?
Yeah, so the owners are doing great. That's one thing that if you're planning on building your own little restaurant, we saw lots of spaces. Find a building owner that is really supportive. The owner of the building is very supportive, very nice person. We get along with him well, gives us great advice, puts us in front of really good people to connect with. That's a plus as well. Like, if we didn't have the support from him, this restaurant would not be open.
Was the fundraising part hard?
Very hard, very stressful. Yeah. You think a year and a half's enough, it's not. I mean, it was my first time, so yeah, it felt like I needed more time.
I hate asking people for money.
Yeah, I know. It sucks. Again, I'm not one that likes to ask for help.
Same. I'd rather cut off my arm sometimes than ask for help. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've talked a lot about your food and what your food is. Some signature dishes have emerged from what you're doing. Walk us through, like, say, 3 dishes that people have fallen in love with and that you cannot take off the menu.
I would say the salt cod is definitely one. That's something that is embedded in me, and like especially living in France and Spain as well, they have their own versions, like the brandade, and, Spain have their own version of salt cod dishes, it's like, and then Jamaica, I grew up in a Jamaican household. So like for me, it was everywhere I went. So I needed to put salt cod on the menu. And then I would say the salt cod with the Scotch bonnet aioli is one. I would say the oxtail and chicken are like fighting for custody of the restaurant right now.
Wait, I haven't had the oxtail. I had the chicken.
Oxtail's
the peri-peri
good.
chicken. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you present the oxtail?
So the oxtail is cooked, how my grandma cooked it, a traditional way, kind of just like braise it. It's braised for about 6 hours in a pot. Lovely amount of gravy in there. And we pick it, and then we fold in all the gravy and the spices and all the stuff, and then we put it in these lovely little Morbiel dishes, these beautiful dishes, copper dishes, and we take some polenta, cook it, and blend it with brown butter and garlic oil and all the good stuff, and then we pipe that on top and cheddar cheese it and gratin it.
Damn, I'm dying.
Just like a shepherd's pie, but...
People are obsessed with your peri-peri chicken.
Like the chicken, yeah. Do you know what? I put a dish on the other day, a scallop curry dish. My granddad's Guyanese as well. We ate like curries as well growing up, but I put this scallop curry, like a fish curry, on the menu, and it's been on 2 weeks. We're selling it out every night. We're selling it out. I'm like, man, I can't take this off the menu. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely, I think it's becoming a staple. It's very
I saw
new.
you making that on Instagram.
Yeah.
I keep going back to the chicken, though. Sorry. It's so colorful and it's so tasty.
Yeah.
And you've talked about Nando's, and I don't know what Nando's is.
So Nando's is a chain originally from South Africa, I believe. The chilies grow there. And peri-peri sauce is peri-peri chilies. And in the restaurant, we ferment the chilies, and then we make a beautiful little sauce out of it, like a hot sauce. And then we char the chicken, so there's a nice charred taste to it. And then we hit it with the peri-peri sauce, which is nice, spicy and bright. There's a nice bit of vinegar in there, yeah. And then we hit with a little buttermilk ranch just to cool yourself down.
That's
reset.
what the white drizzle is.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like tarragon and chives and buttermilk. And then we serve it with a beautiful little salad on the sides. Nice cabbage slaw that cools your mouth down while you're tackling through it. So when I was a kid, I used to, anytime I had a little bit of money, I'd try and go to Nando's because that's where all the kids would go to. And it's just basically like, chicken, like a half a chicken grilled. And on the wall, there would always be like a huge wall of different peri-peri sauce, whether it was lemon, orange, herb, whatever it was. And I used to take all the sauces and just like smother it over the chicken. Ours is simply made. It's not an insane process. We brine the chicken so it's soft. It's like soft and tender and juicy. And then spiciness in the salad and the
so delicious.
Ranch, yeah. So
you're open for dinner.
Yes.
And what's the deal with the Argyle?
Argyle is a cocktail bar, and it's a little secret bar underneath the restaurant, which a lot of guests enjoy going to after dinner or before.
What are the hours compared to the dining room?
5 to 2 a.m.
Whoa. Oh, that's great. Mm-hmm. Fewer and fewer late night places in the city.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's, it's a buzz. It's fun. We designed it completely different. And the cocktail menu's different. The food menu's different. We have, we make fresh bread, fresh cocoa bread, and we do like a cocoa bread with jerk, short rib sandwich.
Yum. So you do a food down there?
We do different food down there,
okay.
yeah.
And how's the music?
The music, yeah, it's great.
Are the walls thumping?
No, it's Afrobeats kind of vibe.
Cool.
Yeah, and then we have some some of the, like the stuff that you can sing along to and like people enjoy, people pleasers. But definitely the funky house and the Afrobeats are our vibe downstairs.
All right, well, I got to hit Markette, got to hit the Argyle. Michelin recently gave you a big award, the Young Chef Award. Yeah. You didn't know that was happening.
No. I mean, we opened for 5 months and then I got an email saying, oh, you've been invited to Michelin. And I was like, at that point, I think we were 4 months in. I was just happy to be invited. I was just like, oh, okay, I'll show up. But it was just an honor to just be invited after being open for such a short amount of time,
Yeah. It's also nice when the awards are a surprise.
Yeah.
I hate the ones you have to apply for.
Yeah, no, I like the surprise. I definitely had a rough 2 weeks of just sitting like a sitting duck waiting for something. I was just like, what's happening? Why are we getting invited? What's going on? And it just ran from, I didn't sleep much for those 2 weeks.
Oh, that's rough. Well, congratulations on that. That's a big deal. A few things I've heard you talk about. Daily manageable goals. Mm-hmm. Are you a big goal setter?
Yes. I think we all have dreams. We start really young and we're like, I want to open a restaurant one day. I did that. I was like, I'm doing this because I want to do this, which is great. It's a great goal to have. But you have to have smaller goals in order to get there. And I tell my cooks all the time, I'm like, when you come in, today you cut the chives at 2:30. Tomorrow the chives need to be done at 2:27. And the next day they're done at 2:26. And the next day they're done at 2:25. If you can continue pulling back, shavings make a pile, James always used to tell me, and shaving make a pile in time too. If you chip away 10 seconds here, 20 seconds here, 30 seconds here, a minute here, you've got so much time to do other stuff. Daily manageable goals are really, really important to me in order to get to that bigger goal.
Being humble is a big deal for you as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Not just you personally, but your team and the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah. I mean, we're all representing ourselves and we're representing the restaurant we work at. So it's nice to just stay humble and be involved have as many people involved in conversations as possible. With raising money, it's like, you never know who you're talking to. So listen to people, have a conversation with them, actually listen to what they have to say. It's really important.
You're big on teamwork. You're big on spotlighting your team. Is that something you picked up from James?
Yeah, we did that. So when I was working at Saga and Crownshire, I remember he posted a picture one time with me on it, I think a few times. And it was not just me, it was other people as well. I remember one time I went into MTC Kitchen and they were like, oh, you're India. I was like, how do you know me? And they were like, oh, we saw on James's thing. And they looked after me. They gave me a little discount. They helped me pick out some stuff that I wanted. It was just the community. It felt tight, So yeah, if I can do that, it makes people happy. So why not?
What's it like now when you go to other restaurants? They love to food bomb you when you're a chef in New York.
Do you know what's funny is everyone's always like, oh, where have you been to? I say, where have you been to? I'm like, I haven't been anywhere. I've only been here.
Oh, right, because your restaurant's so new.
So new. I live there.
Yeah.
So, maybe I can get that question done in the year. But right now, that's my New Year's resolution. My New Year's resolution is to go out and see more. But yeah, no, I'm at Markette and the Argyle. Also.
Yeah. When did you open?
July.
We
opened July for Markette and we opened September for the Argyle.
Are all the reviews done? Have all the reviews come in?
No, we have a lot of reviews to go.
So
we
that's
have
why you still have to be there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's interesting.
And do you care about stuff like that?
I think it's nice to hear, but then I think it's also important to just focus on yourself. Mm-hmm. Focus on what you're doing. If you're trying to please everybody, you're not going to be true to yourself. The food that I do is not traditional. It's just the flavor profiles of the way I grew up. Mm-hmm. And, I think a lot of different cultures have reimagined their food. In the Caribbean scene, I would love to try and reimagine some of our food but with the same flavors. Again, when I was growing up, my grandma didn't go out to eat because why would she go out and eat food that she already knows how to cook. She only cooks Jamaican food. She only want to eat Jamaican food. So why would she go out and eat Jamaican food? But maybe we can try and reimagine things. Maybe she would have gone out if the flavors were the same, but it was presented differently or eaten differently. I think stay true to yourself and everything else will follow.
Who would you love to come eat in the restaurant?
Oh, I got Jamie Oliver, which is great. I'd love for Gordon to come in. That would be great. Gordon Ramsay, please come to my restaurant. To be honest, you know what? I want young chefs to come to the restaurant. I have my own personal things, yes. There's so many cooks here. We make up 10% of the industry in the whole of New York. Like, I want young chefs to come and see and eat. I think that's as important than anyone else, you know?
That's super cool. Do you have a motto or a mantra?
A motto?
Yeah. And is it tattooed on your body? Because every now and then we get some people who have a motto or a mantra and it's literally tattooed on their body.
Yeah, there's difference for different people. I think when you're a young cook, like, keep your head down, your knife sharp. That's very important. Don't get all involved in all the madness. Just head down, knife sharp, crack on with what you got to do. Stay humble, stay focused, stay true to who you are. Don't, let anyone sway you in any kind of way.
That's a lot of words for a tattoo, so I'm guessing it's not tattooed on you.
Yeah, it would be half. I'm quite small, so it would be half off of me.
All right, let's do a speed round. What beverage do you start your day with?
Tea.
No coffee.
Cup of tea, English tea, milk.
Okay.
Sits for 4.5 minutes.
I love it. You're not a coffee drinker.
No, I used to be an intense coffee drinker. It was the way I survived, but I had to give it up.
I know. I sometimes think coffee makes me a little crazy.
It made me insane.
Okay, what's always in your fridge?
What's always in my fridge? Feta. I'm married to a Greek, so there's always feta in the fridge. Pint of milk, always in the fridge. Bag of rice, not in the fridge, but in the dry storage.
What was your favorite food as a kid?
Favorite food as a kid? Oh, I grew up Caribbean. There's so many. Caribbean-wise, I would say ackee and saltfish, definitely my favorite. Fried dumplings. But on the other side of things, oh man, I'm a big fan of like a good sausage, like pork sausage. So yeah, I'd say that.
What's your favorite snack food today?
Snack food. Oh man, I'm a sugar fiend, man. I'm so bad with sugar. I just love sugar so much. Like a donut, anything sugary, I'm eating it.
When I was pointing out those crullers, that was kind of mean of me.
Yeah, I'm addicted to sugar.
We were at Daily Provisions and I was pointing out Claudia Fleming's crullers.
Yeah, definitely. Anything sugary, I'll eat it.
We didn't talk about the desserts at Markette. Is that a big part of the program?
Yeah, I mean, we're evolving and, we have this beautiful cheesecake on the menu, which I love.
I think you served that at the lunch. That was really good.
Yeah, we have that. My CDC's working on a lovely tartatan that we're putting on the menu. But taking it back. It can be for two people. We pour it tableside. It's just delicious food. It's just like nothing too fussy. It's just like delicious.
Nice.
Pineapple tartatan, yeah.
What's a favorite cookbook?
So I got this cookbook called The Pie Hole.
The Pie Hole.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
I don't
really
know that
good.
cookbook.
Oh, sorry. Actually, it's called The Pie Room.
The Pie Room.
But the actual place where it is called The Pie Hole.
Is that a UK place?
Yeah, it's in the UK, and they make incredible pies, man.
Okay.
So good, so good. So that's definitely one of my favorites.
Is it in London?
It's in London, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's part of the Rosewood Hotel. And
the Pie Room.
Yeah, the Pie Room, man. It's really, really good. Pies are incredible. The art on it is just like insane. He goes into train stations and looks at like the architect and the design and then like draws them and then patterns them out on the pies. It's insane.
Okay.
Insane behavior. I love it.
What are you streaming right now? Do you even have time to watch TV shows or movies?
You know what? I'm big into horror and documentaries and true crime. I've been watching, Welcome to Derry. Have you seen that?
I can't do scary.
Incredible.
I like Derry Girls, the comedy.
No.
I can't do Welcome to Derry.
I like horrifying stuff.
What's that all about? Why is America so into true crime stuff? The top podcasts. I don't get it.
I don't know. There's so much drama here. It's great.
Life's scary enough. No?
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. I don't know. I just enjoy watching it. I love watching true crime. I love watching documentaries. I think it's interesting.
Okay. And music. What are you listening to these days?
I'm a big fan of Justice. I just went to see Justice and Catrianda, which was great. It was such a good show. I love a bit of Fisher. Love a bit of Fisher. He's a little wacky, a little crazy. Love watching him.
You're big on music in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Because you've worked in some places that didn't even let you play music in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah. Like, what's that about? Like, I used to be like that. I used to be a chef because that's the way I was taught. I was like, used to be a chef, like, can't play music. Everyone needs to focus. Man, now it's different. I calm down a lot. And it's like, for me, if it makes people happy, why can't we just play the music? Everyone talks about, like, creating good vibes in the kitchen, and food comes from the soul and the heart, and blabbering on about all this stuff. It's true, though. But if you aren't making people feel good, then they're not going to cook good.
What's your favorite food film?
I love Ratatouille. I'm not going to lie. It's the closest thing without all the rats. So it's like the closest thing to what's going on. I know it's a cartoon, but like, man, it's pretty accurate.
I love that movie.
Yeah. It makes me feel good. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I've watched it a lot. And there's a female chef. One.
There is, and it's very accurate. When she says all that, she's like running through the kitchen. I was like, wow.
Dream travel destination.
Oh, do you know what? I'm torn. I really want to go to Hawaii. And I've always wanted to go to Thailand, never been there. But I would say I'm closer to Hawaii right now. I've never been. I really, really want to go. It's just like in the middle of Earth, just like in the middle of everything. Stars, all of that stuff.
Maybe somebody will bring you out there to cook.
Oh, I wish. Please do.
There's some
it's a dream.
Food festivals and stuff out there. So.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
I'll get on that.
We'll try to manifest that for you. Okay, last question. I don't know what your answer is going to be. I can sometimes guess. If you had to be trapped on a desert island with one food celebrity, who would it be and why?
One food celebrity?
Yeah. Could be living or dead.
That's a wild one, bro. Do you know what? Just because I saw him the other day, I might have to say Jamie Oliver, just because he's really into the health stuff. I'd love to see how that would translate out on an island.
I could see you two on an island taking care of each other.
Yeah, and I think also I need someone who balances me out, because I would just be like acting wild out there. I think I would embrace it heavily.
Yeah, I bet he's like a chill guy to be stuck on an island with. And he knows how to cook.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. There wouldn't be any clashing, I think.
India Doris, thanks so much for being on the show. I just think you are awesome, and I'm so happy you're here in New York and kicking ass. So
thank you.
Congrats on everything.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Here's to a big 2026 for you.
Let's go.
That's it for today's show. Thank you so much to Chef India Doris for joining us. I love talking to her. Be sure to visit Markette if you find yourself in Manhattan and say hello. Don't forget, tickets for Jubilee 2026 are on sale right now at cherrybombe.com. Our theme song is by the band Tra La La. Joseph Hazen is a studio engineer for Newsstand Studios. Our producers are Catherine Baker and Jenna Sadu. Our executive assistant is Bridget Pittman. And our head of partnerships is Rachel Close. Thanks for listening, everybody. You're the bomb.